throughout the state of Ohio trying to get the Governor DeWine to rescind this mask mandate. What we have done is we've contacted the Lake County Coroner's Office and tried to develop some statistics. We wanted to find out if the mask mandate is in any way, shape, or form impacting the people in the community as far as illegal drug use and or suicides. And we have put together statistics that we'd be glad to share with the commissioners, and we'll put it online. We'll post it online. But in calendar year 2020, there were 37 suicides, and 27% of those were in the city of Mentor. So far in 2021, we've had 13. So if we annualize that, if that keeps up at that pace, we're going to have about a 25% increase in the suicides, which is really quite disturbing. Can we attribute it directly to the mask mandate? That is difficult to say, but I have been told by professionals that the lack of social interaction by people certainly has an impact on their mental well-being. We also looked at the as far as the illegal drug deaths. We analyzed it by age and by municipality for the years 2019 and 2020. In 2019, there were a total of 60. And in 2020 it was 78. So there's a disturbing trend of increasing on that. Again, can we attribute it to the mask mandate? Not absolutely sure, but it is a disturbing trend. We also found out that the 1851 Center for Constitutional Law just had a press release where they said an Ashland County court has ruled that the state mask mandates are unconstitutional. I'm here before the commissioners. I don't know if the commissioners at the county level can do anything that asks if the state can, if we as a county, can we have more control of what happens over our county? Now, as I understand, and Mr. Plechnik has done a great job of educating me on the role of county government is really an extension of the state, but I do know that the home rule may not apply to the county, although I was always led to believe that it was. There are the other municipalities. What we will be doing after this ruling by the Ashland Court, we'll go to each one of the municipalities. I have already spoken to Mr. Carl Dondorfer, who is my representative at the Concord, as a Concord trustee. He did say that several weeks ago that he is also the representative, our representative on the Lake County Health Board, and they did get together and try to figure out, is there any way that they, through home rule, that they have more control or more say-so at the local level, as opposed to saying that the governor has the absolute right to mandate that everybody wear these masks 24/7. So this is more, I guess I'm coming before the commissioners to find out, one, can the county do anything under a home rule that says that you can control or you can make exceptions to what the governor says, or does that really fall back on that I've got to go to the individual municipalities to get them to band together to see what they can do? But so we're concerned that the mask mandate is having a negative mental impact on our citizens, and we'd like to try to do something about it, if that makes sense, what I've just said.
Yes, sir. And if I could look to legal in case I say something that goes afoul of correctness here, there is a distinct difference between home rule and local control. Local control has been used in context of our health district. In the absence of any guidance or mandates from the state Department of Health, our health district has local control. They can fill in the blanks, they can make adjustments, they can deal with circumstances that are unique to their area of jurisdiction. So far as we've been able to determine, the mask mandate is pretty absolute. It's a direct mandate from the governor, from the Ohio Department of Health. Our local health district has little jurisdiction to be able to adjust that. However, I know firsthand that our health district is one of the health districts pushing data to Columbus frequently, accurately, spot on. It's very, very, very important.
Yes, I would say that Ron Graham, I'll just interject, that Ron Graham has, we have been working with him, and we're very, very pleased about his conduct and his concern for the community. So the issue is not with Ron Graham at all.
Very good. And then now switching to home rule, that talks about government, villages, townships, cities, county government in this case. We have certain statutory authorities that give us the ability to do things, but in the world of health, the health district, the Lake County General Health District, a separate political subdivision, not under the control of the county. I want to be, again, abundantly clear on that.
Mm-hmm.
They are the ones who have the authority. It is not the Board of Commissions. It's not even your local townships and villages, although they do have representation on the board and work with the health district. So there is some representation at that level. I would also want to point out that some of these laws, more correctly, that give the Ohio Department of Health and the local departments of health, of which I was surprised to find out there's actually well over 100 of them. 88 counties, I think there's 110 or 120 health districts. Go figure.
Okay.
Only in America, right?
Yeah.
I believe these laws go back to 1924. That's
It's a long time.
That's 96 years.
Right.
You know, it might be nice if the legislature would actually, and I'm trying to be cautious here, responsibly address that, rather than doing things that are pageantry, stunts, things that they know will never go anywhere. I'm just going to be blunt. I grow tired of it. I'm not even going to call them elected officials. I'm going to call them politicians. And if anybody wants to know why I say that there's a difference between a politician and an elected official, a politician serves themselves, elected officials serve the people. And there's a lot of politicians out there beating their chests, and I'm going to pontificate now, I'm so sorry, out there beating their chests, not doing the work of the people, and doggone it, we got a job to do. And some of these stunts are not in our best interest. And I appreciate the opportunity to comment on that. And the other thing, let's see, we got local control home rule. I'm not familiar with this 1851. I think I've seen some postings about it, but I've not had a chance to.
It's a community activist group that they're legal professionals.
Thank you. Thank you. And then circling back to Dr. Komar, he has on various occasions had and continues to have strong communications with this board. Candidly, and at the risk of sounding insensitive, there is a percentage of a given population that dies each year. In talking with Dr. Komar, that percentage is the same. Now, given the all causes. Now, may those causes shift from one category to another? Apparently, the answer is yes. But I think Dr. Komar would probably be the best qualified to be commenting on that, and if there's going to be any theorizing as to what the sources of that shifting from one category to another. But the numbers, at least in Lake County's example, have stayed the same. Right?
I will reach out to Dr. Komar
Thank you.
On that. I will do that. Thank you.
Thank you. And Commissioner Young, Commissioner Plechnik, anything to add, gentlemen?
Mr. President,
Sir.
two things. First, I want to reinforce what President Hamercheck said about local control versus home rule. Home rule is an Ohio constitutional right given to municipalities, townships, cities, villages. It's not extended to counties because we are a creature of statute. We are extensions of state government. And so our power is limited to what we're given in the Ohio Revised Code, which is not nothing. That's the local control that President Hamercheck's talking about, but we don't have the right to say, in some cases, we can constitutionally override the state because this is a matter that is inherently local and the municipality decides, even if the state passes a law to the contrary. So we're not in the place to push back against a clear state order, even if we disagree with it. Our only role is to implement those clear state directives. Second point that I wanted to make, though, as President Hamercheck said, where there is ambiguity or where the order doesn't directly apply, that does give local control authority to the health commissioner and the general health district of Lake County. And I am very impressed with how Health Commissioner Ron Graham has worked with local officials to try to fill that gap in a way that benefits our residents. I want to share, without naming any names, that on Good Friday, there was a resident, a patron with a disabled daughter who attempted to go to one of our public libraries in Lake County, and she was turned away. 4-year-old daughter, disability that made it unsafe for her to wear a mask, and she was informed that the library had set their own policy that 2 and up must wear a mask, no exceptions. Her daughter cried, had to go home, couldn't check out her books, and she started tweeting, and she tagged some elected officials, Senator Serino and myself. I don't think she knew that I used to be a library trustee, and so I knew the director, I knew the board, I called them, and they expressed to me, we're in a difficult position. The mask exemptions apply to retail. They don't specifically apply to public libraries. We have to set our own policy if there's a gap, and we don't want to. We don't want to be the bad guy saying yes or no, but on the one hand, we have patrons who want to come to the library and take advantage of those exemptions. On the other hand, we have employees and union grievances who say this is an unsafe setting. So we're not the best qualified people. We're not medical professionals, but without guidance, we have to make a call. So I immediately called Ron Graham, and I was grateful that within one day, the very next day, he issued guidance and emailed every library director in the county saying, we are going to extend the mask exemptions to public libraries. We're going to make it clear that children 10 and under, that those who are disabled or have a medical condition where wearing a mask is unsafe can still access our public libraries, and literally turn that around on a holiday weekend within one day and immediately notified all library directors. I mean, that kind of responsiveness is exactly the value of the local control that President Hamercheck's talking about. And I was so impressed that our health commissioner would give up his holiday to draft guidance and contact every library in the county. It doesn't answer the whole problem, but we're doing what we can. Yeah,
we have met with Ron Graham, and he has been extremely helpful, as with his people, in answering our question, so that it's important that the people in the community really understand how this whole county government, local government really works. And I do appreciate the opportunity to at least hear from you and get educated on it. So thank you very much, and I'll keep you posted as we move forward, because we're not going to drop the issue. Thank you.
Fair enough. Appreciate the cordial dialogue, and again, that Commissioner Plechnik offered an excellent example of once we are made aware of something, it gives us the opportunity to engage it. We may not be able to make a difference, and sometimes we can. But if we can't make a difference, at least we can sympathize and be better informed. And that in and of itself is important, because if we don't know what's going on, we can't be everywhere.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Commissioner Young, did you want to add anything, sir?
Well, yeah, I would. Thank you. I would like to add something. Firstly, I'd like to echo your comments, Commissioner Plechnik's, and questions being asked by the public. There is one area we may be able to do a little bit more in, possibly. And we've already done some, and that's simply writing letters to the governor, to the Speaker of the House, President of the Senate, to our own representatives, outlining on a regular basis some of the types of problems we've encountered in reference to masks and other regulations that have been imposed during this COVID crisis. Just as Ron Graham has listened to comments from citizens directly and organizations, and I've worked with him on some issues also, and I agree, he's extraordinary. His reference to response time and thoughtfulness of those responses. But in the same way, state government will respond, especially to a county that expresses concerns, especially a county the size of and the professionalism that's been demonstrated by Lake County through this whole process. So I know we've written letters in the past, and we've certainly spoken to the folks down there in the past as well. But that may be an area where we could perhaps focus a little bit more of our energy and maybe recommend some improvements, especially tailored for Lake County, and maybe even make some specific requests as far as what we'd like to see happen in Lake County as far as loosening up some of those regulations in reference to some of our more sort of homegrown issues. Thank you.
No, thank you. And I think this would be if I may take the liberty of Commissioner Young's experience as a House representative member. I'm going to look to legal on this. And I think it's no secret. I have routinely been opposed to ceremonial actions that have no effective law. I believe ceremonial activities that just have no effective law are meant to instill a false sense of security.